A lot of what this spiritual path, spiritual awakening journey has been for me, and I think for a lot of the collective, right, is really just coming back to your inner child, coming back to that sense of childlike whimsy that we've always had, right, but suppressed because we thought we had to grow up, and we thought that growing up meant that we had to put aside all of those things that our childhood selves held so dear. But that's actually where all the truth lies, and that's where your purpose really lies, and that's where you can make the biggest impact. It's just you're supposed to take those skills, take those interests that you had, and mature with them instead of casting them aside. And it's really because of this kind of connection to source that we had as children, because your inner child, your childlike self, represents who you really were before the distortion, before society placed all of its limitations on you, before you became programmed by this matrix, for lack of a better word. And when you really come back to that kind of level of understanding or understanding, you realize that it's just remembering. It's remembering what you came into this life having an innate feeling towards, but didn't fully know because you didn't have enough wealth of experiences to kind of dictate what that feeling was. That's what it's been like for me, honestly. And just coming back to self, coming back to my inner child, it's brought me such a sense of joy again. And the more I discover or come back to all these things that I held so dear as a child, I realize like these are things that I can incorporate into my life. These are things that actually are giving me hints or giving me clues as to where I'm actually meant to represent myself and where I'm actually meant to pursue in terms of purpose and career. And it's just such an enlightening thing because the answers were always there. They've been there. It's just there were systems in place that took me away from it, making me feel like it couldn't be that simple. You know, we'd rather make it hard. It's literally Lauryn Hill said it best. It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. And we go the long way, only to realize that the truth was always in the beginning. It was always in the start. To understand your future, you have to know your past, type of thing. If you're new here, I talk a lot about spirituality, but at times I also talk about healing your inner child because I think that they go hand in hand, really. And so if you'd like to work with me, you can check the link in my bio. I have a number of practices, a number of services that I offer. And there's a free consultation. We can talk for 10 minutes just about where you're at. I can give you some words of advice. I can tell you what I can offer you. And it's honestly just a way for me to connect with more people, gain more perspective, and help in any way that I can, because ultimately my purpose here is to be of service and to embody love and truth. So